Good morning, children of K-Tech High School and Junior College. Children, today in our English session, I have brought to you a very hilarious poem, 4.1, The Vet. What do you know about vet? You know what is the meaning of vet? It is a short form of a veterinary doctor. And who are the veterinary doctor? Who treats animals, diseases of animals and cures the illnesses. So it's a very humorous poem you will enjoy with me, written by Guy Boss. So let's know something about the poem and the poet. The poem The Vet is written by Guy Boss. The theme of the poem is the main theme of the poem is the many illnesses that various animals suffer from and the difficulty a vet faces while dealing with his patients. Who are the patients? Animals, children. The poet says the success and the competency of the vet depends on the vastness of his knowledge. In the end, the poet says that it would be easier to be a doctor who treats the illness of a man rather than animals. Now, this is something that the poet is trying to tell us in a humorous way. He is not against the people who become vet doctor. It is a humorous poem, children. He is saying that a vet doctor has to be highly knowledgeable because he has to study different organs of the different animals, because every animals have different organ system and it's working, right? Like fishes breathe with the gills, we breathe with lungs, animals have lungs, frogs breathe with their skin when they are on land or in water, and when they are on land they breathe with lung. So the vet doctor needs to study different organ systems, so he has to be highly knowledgeable. So he says that just to earn the living, he can just become a human doctor rather than becoming a vet. But he is not trying to discourage us. So let's start, children, with the poem. Before that, we have a warming up exercise. And if you have your book in front of you, page number 76, there are certain questions and match the following. And the third one is group discussion, which I have brought to you on the different sheet. Warming up. Where do we find the animals in urban areas? We find all the animals in forest and zoos. Do you find in urban areas lions, tigers and zebras? Do you have a pet dog? Pet animal? Children, I have written dog. You can write your own pet animal like a parrot, lovebirds, cat, anyone. Pigeons, some people keep pigeons also. How do we understand that animals are not feeling well? Now, if we have a pet, we should know, right? How do we know that? Suppose if we have some animals and he is not feeling well, what will the first thing the animals will do? They will stop eating food. So from the behavior pattern, their food habits, and they will become inactive. They will not be so active. Who gives medicines and treatments to the sick animals and birds? The veterinarian gives medicines and treatments to the sick animals and the birds. How do we help animals and birds? We help animals and birds by treating them kindly. We care for them and love them, right? This is the way we can help them, right? Now, second is match the column. I've written A, B, C, D for the answer, but I'll tell you. A dentist takes care of your teeth, D. Cardiologist take care of your heart, G. Ophthalmologists take care of your eyes. They treat illness of eyes. That is F. Orthopedic, they look after your bones. Pediatrician, they take care of small kids. That is C. Neurologist, they take care of the brain and spinal cord. And veterinarian, they take care or cure the disease of animals. Now there is a group discussion. You have to discuss with your friends and tell. But as we are not having physical classes, I have got an answer for you. Discuss in your group and write down the most important reason why pediatrician. Pediatrician is what? Small kids, just newly born babies, right? The doctor who treats newly born babies. Vet and veterinarians have tougher job. Why their job is tough? To diagnose their patient illness. Pediatricians and veterinarians have a tougher job to diagnose the patients, that is kids and animals, mainly because they cannot speak. Can a newborn baby speak that I've got a stomach ache, I've got a earache? No, they cannot. So these patients cannot speak and tell anything about their illness. Now this is a very beautiful poem, children. We are going to read it. To be a successful and a competent vet needs to be accidentally wide. Now here the poet is telling us that if you want to become a vet or a vet doctor, needs to be highly knowledgeable, because every animal has different organ system and they have different illnesses which needs to be taken care of. So a vet has to study organs of all different animals, right? Carnivorous animal, herbivorous animal, ruminating animals. I can say cow who is a grass eating animal is a ruminating animals. First of all, he will gulp entire food. Then when it's resting, it will bring back the food into his mouth and then chews and then digest. Can we do that? Once we have gulped down the food, we bring back to our mouth? No. So our digestive system and a cow digestive system is different. Similarly, reptiles, birds, all these animals have different anatomical organs and their functions. For each the patients, means who are the patients? Animals. He is likely to get who? The vet doctor. Means he will get the patients who are only animals, have possesses different, means their organs are different inside. He must know. Now the vet doctor should be well aware of different animal illness. He should know why the cat is refusing the milk, why the dog is not eating his bone, why the coat of the horse is not shining like a skin of the horse is not shining like a silk, why the parrot does nothing but groan. Now parrot is said to be talking animal, right? But why is not parrot not talking, is groaning? Oh, oh. That means a sound that is removed from his throat. Why the duck and chickens are failing to lay eggs, means why they are not laying eggs. So faint canary birds sing. Now canary birds are very well known for singing very sweetly. They have got a very sharp voice. So a vet doctor should know why this canary bird is not singing so well. And if he is called, means who is called? Vet doctor. He must say incredible things, number of things. Means he must give explanation to all the questions what the zookeeper will ask. So he have to answer. He should know the reasons of this illness of the animals, because these animals we normally see in zoo. If lions caught cold, now if you hear lion sometimes sneezes, so the vet doctor should know why the lion is sneezing. If zebra gets old, if centipede has trouble with his, now centipede is a long animal which has many feet, so he just moves in a zigzag manner. So a vet doctor should know, and he has many legs. So why the doctor should know why he's walking in a different manner. If hippo is feeling ill, now hippo is animal which normally you find in water. So he is feeling ill. That is his. I think he can be catching a temperature. So can a hippo get a temperature or a fever? If bison's got a chill, bison is who? Buffalo, an American buffalo, feeling very cold. If Arctic foxes which lives in a snowy region, they are very much, like furry animal, fox. He's suffering from heat. Now there is ice everywhere, snow everywhere. How can a fox feel hot? If viral disease has attacked chimpanzee, if tortoise hasn't stirred means moved from one place. So the vet doctor should answer the zoo authorities why this is happening. If the bear is too full of buns, why that means bear is not eating the means why his stomach is so huge and full of buns. If cobra eats his son, why the cobra has eaten his son? The vet doctor should know. If panther has his wife, can a panther have a wife? Panthers. Now the wife eating the husband's ears, that is panther's ears, chewing. So this is something very weird, right? But one thing, children, do you think that when I'm speaking about animals, that picture of animal is forming into your mind, at the back of your mind? Imagine, it's a beautiful poem. If giraffe had a tiff and the necks are stiff. Now giraffe has a long neck. When they fight with other giraffe, they always fight with their neck. So when they're moving in haste, they may get a stiff neck, they may get a pain, and the vet doctor should know why the giraffe neck is so stiff. If hyenas will not laugh at keeper's joke, if monkey is pinching his tail, now can a monkey pinch its tail? It's something very humorous, right? Unusual. If the rhino's looking pale, rhinos are dark skinned animals, and why is the rhino looking pale? Can a doctor tell? Anyone tell? It is only the vet who can tell, no? If animals eat paper bags and chalks, elephants. Now, if elephants, sorry, not animals, elephant eats paper bags and chalks. Sometimes children in zoo, when we feed these animals, they swallow the paper bags and they get choked and they die. So the vet doctor should know what is the cause of the illness or the death of the animals. If the camel hurts his hump, now the hump is a protruding part of a camel in which he stores the food. So when the camel is in desert and when they run out of the food for days, they can use this store food that keeps on going for few days. So if the vet doctor should know why there is something wrong in the hump of a camel. If kangaroos won't jump, now kangaroo normally jumps, so the vet doctor should know why the kangaroo is not jumping. If crocodile turns cannibal, means instead of eating other fishes and aquatic animals, he starts eating human flesh. They run. The zoo authority, what do? They run to the vet, calls him, and they ask them many questions. And the vet doctor should know all the answers, and they know that the vet doctor will put everything right because they think that omniscient vet and expects him to put everything to right. Profoundly, I pity vet. The poet is telling, I pity means I sympathize with a vet doctor who must learn such a very great deal for his pay. For his pay means to earn his living. Means just to earn his living, he has to learn so many things, so many internal organs of the animals. My son. The poet is addressing us, calling us as a son or his own son. He is talking to his own son, or he is addressing us, that is youth, the young people, us, by addressing as a son. I advise you most strongly. He's telling, I'm advising you very strongly to earn your living an easier way. Means you must earn your living in a very easier way. Don't attempt to attend a zoological crowd. Means don't try to get into studying animals. So far more advisable plan. That is what I want to advise you. If is to call yourself a doctor, that means if you want to call yourself a doctor, and so be allowed to treat the illness of men. He's advising that it's better to be a human doctor than a vet. Margin questions. Why is this so difficult to be a successful vet? It is very difficult to be a successful vet because he needs wide knowledge of all animals and different body parts. What is wrong with ducks and chickens? Ducks and chickens are failing to lay eggs. What are the opposite illness of lion and Arctic fox? Answer. The lion caught cold and Arctic fox is suffering from heat. These are the illnesses are opposite. Why have the giraffe got a stiff neck? The giraffe got a stiff neck because they have had a tiff. Means when he fights, his neck gets stiff. Why does a poet call the vet omniscient? This is a very important question. The poet calls the vet omniscient because he faces and treats all kinds of disease of animals. What does a poet advise you? Do you think he means it? The poet advises that one should be a doctor and treat humans instead of treating animals. I think the poet wants to tell us the hard work and the importance of the vet. Now, workshop children, what is the rhyming scheme of stanza 1, 2, 3 and the two stanzas? How does it differ from 4 and 7? Right, the first 1, 2, 3 stanzas have A, B scheme. 4 and 7 stanzas have A, B, C, D scheme. And 1 to 4 has 4 lines and 4 to 7 has 6 lines, those stanzas. Write 5 illness of an animals in the poem that you find most amusing and laughable. The panther has a wife who chooses ears. B, the lions caught cold. 3, that is C, monkeys pinched his tail. D, the centipede has trouble with his feet. E, the bear is too full of buns. Now, out of the names of the birds and animals given in the poem, pick out 4 names that are similar in English as well as in Hindi or a Marathi or of your mother tongue. We call zebra in all the languages cobra, kangaroo, chimpanzee, giraffe, hippo, bear. Write 4 reasons why animals in zoo suffer more than those who live in free and wild. Animals in zoo suffer more than those who live free in the wild because zoo animals have to live in a closed area. They are not allowed to move anywhere as wild animals are free in the forest. Zoo animal gets easily infected with disease. They do not get enough food for the survival in the zoo. Zoo animals get teased by the visitors of the zoo. Think deeply and write. Is the poet really discouraging the youth from becoming vet? Explain the response. Children, your right spelling is wrong. It is WRIT. It's spelling mistake. Please do correct it, children. I will give you in notes corrected one. No, I think the poet is not really discouraging youth from becoming vet, but the poet wants to tell them that the work of a vet is more important for animals and birds because they cannot speak their illness. Yes, children? Now, analysis or appreciation means you have to praise the poem. How well this poem is, how good this poem is. First of all, poem and poet, you have to just write down. Vet is written by Guy Boss. Theme is illness of various animals suffer from and difficulties of a vet. Tone is very witty, smart and light-hearted. Is it very tense poem? No. Structure and stanzas. Stanzas and lines are of unequal length. Stanzas 1, 2, 3 and 8 and 9 are similar. 4, 5, 6, 7 are similar. Rhyming schemes are AB, CD, and so on for stanzas 1, 2 and 3. And 8 and 9 you have EE, F, GG, F. And so on for 4, 5, 6 and 7. Language is very simple, witty language. Vivid images of animals are formed in our mind, right? With different problems, all based on their body structures and abilities. Figure of speech they have used is alliteration and onomatopoeia. Now, children, there are certain important questions based on this lesson poem. What does the poet advise to you? Do you think he means it? The poet advises the writer not to become a vet, but to earn his living in an easier way. He advises the reader to become a doctor and treat the illness of human beings. No, I don't think so. He means it is just said in a light-hearted way. Think deeply and write. See, I've just corrected here. So in that first, is the poet really discouraging? I think it's not. The poet is not discouraging you to become a vet, but the poet wants to tell them that the work of vet is more important for animals and birds because they cannot speak their physical illness. This is repeated question, children, but this is very important. So that is why I've given. Pick out an example of alliteration from the extract. If the bear is too full of buns, repetition of the sound b, that is b. Pick out an example of onomatopoeia from the extract. Why the parrot does nothing but groan. The word groan is used, indicates the sound. And simple factual activities, 5 illnesses which are most amusing, which makes you laugh. Crocodile turns cannibal and bites. Giraffe have a stiff neck. Kangaroos won't jump. And the hyenas will not laugh. Children, isn't it a funny story? I hope you all enjoyed this session and you have understood well. Children, stay safe and connected. Love you all, children, and see you soon. Take care. Have a nice day.